Hi there, sports fans. This is Playitright TV, and I'm Kinito Henson. We've got one of the most prominent boxing coaches and trainers in the business today. Ting Sugar Ariosa is with us, and we know that he's training two Filipino fighters who are going to be, well, going up against tough champions because they are out there going to try to win a world championship for the Philippines. And, well, Coach Ting, first of all, welcome to Playitright TV once more. You've been our guest before, but you're based in LA. You're now in Manila. I know you're leaving to go back to LA in a few days, but what brings you over to the Philippines, Coach Ting?
Some family matters that I have neglected in the past year or so. We have some issues with family inheritance, so I have to help the family resolve it right now. I didn't want to leave the camp, but everybody was for it. Marlon and Jade said, Coach Arnold said, go ahead, finish that so we can have you back soon as possible and we can continue preparations for the championships of Marlon and Jade. Marlon, April 8th, and Jade to be scheduled very soon, within 90 days.
Okay, well, Ting, it's better to get that family business over and done with so you're fully concentrated on your two boxers. Well, you mentioned Marlon Tapales, former WBO bantamweight champion. He's going to go up against the IBF super bantamweight champion Murodjon Akhmadaliev of Uzbekistan. As you mentioned, Coach Ting, that'll be on April 8th, San Antonio, Texas. And the other guy who's going to be fighting Jade Bornea, and he'll take on the IBF super flyweight champion Fernando Martinez of Argentina at a date still to be scheduled, but that's going to happen within 90 days from the other day. And, well, first, Coach Ting, tell us how Marlon is doing in preparing for Murodjon.
Marlon is very positive that he will be super ready on fight day this coming April 8th. He enjoys everything, no matter how hard the work involved is. He wants to win and get another championship to his name. This is gonna be his second belt. He had the 118 for a while, and then now he's going for the 122, which is super bantamweight.
He's
So
been the
there's no
mandatory
problem.
challenger.
Yes,
Coach Ting,
yes.
see, Marlon has been the mandatory number one contender, challenger for Murodjon, but it's been over a year since he finally
Yes.
gets this crack at the championship. And Murodjon, I understand, has had COVID. He hurt his left hand in his last fight, and he's had a history of injuries. Nung bata to, si Murodjon, he fell off a carousel, broke his left leg, and then he also got into an accident where he broke his foot and his leg. So ang dami niyang mga injuries. How will all of these injuries impact the fight that Marlon has in mind?
Well, I don't think it will be a big factor because he has already fought very well in his last few fights. He is still undefeated up to now. So I think he got over those injuries very well. I don't know about the recent problems or issues he had, like the COVID and the fractured hand. They tried to tell our team that he didn't want to fight yet. They wanted more time to recover. But having heard from you all of these injuries he had in the past, well, if Marlon catches him during their fight on April 8th, he will have more injuries. I'm going to guarantee you that.
Okay yun, okay yun. Well, you mentioned undefeated si Murodjon. His record is
Yes.
11-0 with 8 knockouts. But when he turned pro in 2018, Marlon already had a record of 30 wins and 2 losses. Meaning to say,
Mhm.
yung experience ni Marlon mukhang super malawak. Ang record ni Marlon is 36-3 with 90 knockouts. He has won 15 of his last 16 fights. He's 30 years old. Murodjon is 28. But Murodjon, well, he lost in the amateurs to Jade Bornea. We're going to talk about Jade a little bit later on. Let's focus on Marlon Tapales first. But Vince, our producer, has some pictures of Marlon Tapales with you, and we want to be able to show these pictures now. First of all, Marlon Tapales is the man on the left, and Jade Bornea is the guy on the right, and they are with the strength and conditioning coach Larry Wade. Coach Ting, tell us about Larry Wade. At mukhang super mga katawan ni na Marlon at Jade. They look pretty tough.
Yes, yes, yes. Larry Wade uh, came into the picture because this is a much higher level of a fight than what we had in the last four. We were very lucky in the last four. We knocked out everybody that we faced. But now that we are into the championship, the management and the coaching staff, including Coach Arnel and I, we want to hire somebody who can even elevate further what we have built on Marlon and Jade. Larry Wade have very good resume. He trained the likes of Robisai Ramirez, that Cuban that was a two-time gold medalist, and he was like struggling with his pro career. But under Larry Wade, this guy just became a super warrior. So we want him on board. I know Wade has trained a lot of people like Bado Jack, uh, Kelly Plant, you know. So what he has done in the past with boxers that he handled, we want it for Marlon and Jade because, like I said, this is no joke. Morojon at Medellin is no joke. He's undefeated. He has hundreds of amateur fights. He moves all the time. He doesn't stay there. Well, Marlon never had problems with opponents that stay in front of him. He will get them in the first or second round. But this guy will not stop in front of Marlon, and that's the ultimate challenge we have: how to catch him. And if we do catch him, Marlon will punish him to where he probably regret it the rest of his life. You know.
Wow, sounds like a plan. But yes, he is an Olympian, volume puncher. He likes to move around. Burijon is a tough nut to crack, but from the way that the physique looks Marlon is going to be ready for that fight on April 8th. We have more pictures of Marlon Tapales. Maybe we can see a picture of Marlon when he got married to his bride. Well, first of all, here's a picture of Ting with
Coach
Marlon
Arnel,
Tapales,
Marlon, yes,
and that's Steve Shapiro, who's an MMA fighter.
yeah. So well, he was also a boxer, and he's an upcoming lawyer. He is part of the Knucklehead Group, Shapiro Sports. That's who he is, and the Viva Sports and MP Promotions. They're all working together to get our
And who's
Filipino fighters the best fights, the biggest fights they can get.
okay? Coach Ting, sino yung katabi mo?
I think that's Coach Arnel Fontanilla, and then I
Coach
have
Ernel, that's
Marlon.
right.
Yes,
Okay, so that's the combination. Coach Ernel Fontanilla, a former boxer himself, and Coach Ting Ariosa. Of course, we all know Coach Ting. You coached the Philippine team in the 1984 Olympics. Okay,
yes,
let's
I
see another
did.
picture. We've got okay. Now this is Coach Ting with is that Marlon on the right, and is that Jade in the middle?
Yeah, that's Jade in the middle, and on the right, that's Coach Arnel Fontanilla again.
Oh, that's Coach Ernel. Okay, all right. That looks like a pretty nice picture. And here's Marlon Tapales.
That's
Anong kinakain
Marlon.
niya yeah, to be
I
able to
fed
stay
him
within weight?
chicken soup,
Okay.
lots of chicken, a little bit of pasta in it or noodle, and then that's always the recipe for Filipino fighters. We have to feed them a lot of chicken soup or fish or beef soup.
Okay. Now we also have a picture of Marlon and his bride. He got married in June in Lanao
Hmm.
del Norte, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
I know we have that picture. Maybe we can show it later on, but there it is. Marlon,
there it is.
maganda ang gupit ni Marlon dito. And with his wife, JV, I understand is her name. And so he
Yes,
got married
JB
in
Shin.
June.
Yes.
Yeah, they got married in June, Coach Ting. Tapos, after a few months, in September, he went back to the US without his wife. He's training alone. He's away from his family. He's sacrificing to be able to get this chance at winning a second world championship. Coach Ting.
Yes. Um, Marlon, when he went to get married, it was really a marriage long overdue because of the COVID. So he had to come here for the eliminator and train here for 5 months before we went into the ring against Tashigawara, Hiroaki Tashigawara. And after he demolished Hiroaki Tashigawara, we just we thought he should have gone home, you know. But then we had a tune up also, and he had to finish that. So after that, he went home and fulfilled the promise of a marriage with his longtime partner. But everything's good. As a team, we're always ready to face whatever we have to face, and that marriage was a good thing. It happened already. Now Marlon has trained for like 5 months straight here, so we're almost ready for that fight. We got a couple more months to go.
And he will fulfill another promise, and that is to win a second world championship. Nabanggit mo kanina, Coach Tim, yung power ni Marlon. You think that power is going to be enough to stop and dethrone Murujon?
The power is not really the issue here because Marlon have always stopped opponents when he connects with those punches. The issue is how Marlon can connect to the opponent, especially this kind of opponent. We have seen him in the past, and I know you have watched his fights recently. Morojon Akhmedaliev doesn't stop. From the first round up to the 12th round, he's always moving and throwing punches, lots of punches in a surprise manner. So that's going to be the ultimate challenge for Marlon. Like I said, if the team has done enough to where Marlon can catch Morojon, it's going to be an early night. If Morojon can avoid Marlon for so many rounds, it's going to be in the later rounds that we will be able to finish him. And I'm still hoping that even if the 12 rounds happen and the bell rings in the 12th round, that we get all the rounds to our side because it's not easy to outbox Morojon, but I think Marlon has prepared enough to where he has a chance to do that.
Oh, I think so too. Well, okay, that's Marlon Tapales. Ang laban niya for the IBF Super Bantamweight Championship against the champion Murujon Akhmadaliev, who's going to be defending his championship for the fourth time. That'll be April 8th in San Antonio, Texas. Ngayon naman, pag-usapan natin, Jade Bornea, also the number one contender. He will be fighting the man who beat Jervin Ancajas 2 times, the IBF Super Flyweight champion Fernando Martinez. This guy is undefeated. He's an Argentinian, and he is trained, he's coached by Marcos Maidana. We all know when he was in his prime, Maidana was a all-out fighter. He would always give his all. He's a brawler, and Martinez is such a volume puncher. He just, in his first fight against Jervin Ancajas, he threw over 1,000 punches. 1,000 punches in 12 rounds. He's undefeated, 15-0, ang kanyang record with 8 knockouts. And up against Jade Bornea, who is also undefeated, 13-0, or rather 18-0 with 12 knockouts. This is a battle between two unbeaten fighters, Coach Ting. What do you think?
I believe this is going to be a very challenging and interesting fight for Jade Borneo because, as you mentioned, Martinez is not only a brawler. He's a brawler who throws a lot of punches. Well, the consolation about that is that he was not able to really hurt Jervin to where he can give him knockdowns or score a knockout. With Jade, I believe because Jade is a legitimate 115 and Jerwin, I believe, is not. That's my opinion now. I'm not trying to take away anything from his coaches or his team, but I believe Jerwin belongs to the higher weight, maybe even 122 or 126. Jerwin is such a big boxer now. He was not as big as he is now before. But as you grow older, you know, the bones and the muscles, the density increases. But with Jade being a legitimate 115, when he steps in the ring, he can move. And you have seen how he can really move in the last 2 fights that he had, because those are really good pros that he met, experienced, well trained. But Jade has the ability to outbox anyone in 115. Right now, he's probably the best 115 there is. The question is,
Wow.
can he sustain his abilities from the first round to the 12th round. In case he's not able to dispose of Martinez early on. Can he sustain that and outbox Martinez for 12 rounds? That's why everybody needs to watch this fight, because this Filipino is out there to prove that he can box for 12 rounds or less. And if it is less, we hope that he's the one who scores the knockout on Martinez. And it will be sweet, sort of revenge for Jerwin, because Jade and Jerwin are friends. That's why Jade doesn't even want to fight Jerwin if it is ordered by the IBF as much as he could. It's not because he's afraid of Jerwin, but because they are teammates in this business in boxing. So we hope that everybody watch Marlon and Jade fight, because they are facing adversity in different ways. Marlon fighting this super good boxer who doesn't stop in front of his opponents, and Jade is fighting somebody who is relentless in terms of being a brawler and a volume puncher, and he's also non-stop. I believe Morojon is a better boxer than Martinez, but I believe Martinez has more tenacity. He's really not gonna stop at all for any reason, even if he's hurt in the face or in the body, he will continue. But Jade, I believe, can put a stop to all of that, and we will see if I'm correct during the fight when it
Well,
happens.
yeah. Well, we have pictures now of Jade. Well, first we have a video of him training in the beach, and I don't know if we can show that. Our producer Vince has
Laban
prepared
ng
something for us,
bantamweight, sobrang
and here
saya
here
ko
is
na nakalaban
this
ako
this
dito
is
sa
Jade
La Paz.
Bornea.
Sobrang ganda po dito. Saka nagpapasalamat ako sa opportunity na ibinigay sa akin ng manager ko at saka ni Sir Sean at saka ng promoter ko na nakalaban ako dito sa La Paz. Ang tingin ko naman na ano, nakahanda din siya kaya magandang laban to bukas. Hindi ko sigurado kung may knockout, pero ang alam ko magandang laban to. Saka kung may knockout man, ano na lang, bonus na lang po yun. Itong laban na to ay para sa pamilya ko, lalo na sa dalawa kong anak, saka sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa akin, saka ano sa mga Filipino na fans.
Yeah, okay, that was Jade Bornea, and that was prior to his last fight in Mexico. The last two fights he had were in Mexico, and he scored knockouts in those two fights. We have more pictures of Jade Bornea. Here he is. Coach Ting looks like he's ready to take on Fernando Martinez with a body like that.
Yes, he's been working really hard, and Jade could have gone home after he won the eliminator, and he could have gone home after he won the tune-up in Mexico against uh, Meneses, but he didn't. He has one thing in mind, and he keeps telling me, Coach, I'm not gonna go home until I become a champion. So he speaks with his wife and children almost every day via Messenger or WhatsApp. But Jade and Marlon, they are determined
Mhm.
to give the Philippines the honor. Uh, we uh, we in the team are just so proud of the two boxers. No matter what the outcome of their fights, we know already that they have the champion heart in them. They're not gonna give up their dreams for anything, even if they have to sacrifice their lives with their families and all of that, missing them every day.
Well, Coach Ting, nakita natin yung retrato, si Jade Bornea training with Coach Ernel Fontanilla. And you're going to be joining that camp as soon as you get back to LA in a few days. But, well, all Filipino fans are looking forward to this. We know that we have an IBO champion in Dave Apolinario. We have a WBO minimum weight champion in Melvin Jerusalem. We're looking forward to more Filipino champions. Nonito Donaire is going to be fighting for the WBC Bantamweight Championship against Mexico's Alejandro Santiago. And then there is Mark Magsayo, who will be fighting March 4th against Brandon Figueroa. That will be for the interim WBC Featherweight Championship. And then, of course, we've got Marlon Tapales versus Murajon. Jade Bornea versus Fernando Martinez. We're all excited. Coach Ting, I know you're very excited. If there's a final message you want to mention to the Filipino fans who are eagerly awaiting these fights involving our Filipino challengers.
To all the boxing fans, especially the Filipino boxing fans all over the world, I would like to really request you all to keep supporting Filipino boxing teams because, as I said in the last interview with Kenito Andayan, who knows? We might have 4, 5, 6 champions this year because the opportunities are there. Uh, MP Promotions, Knuckleheads Promotions, Sean Gibbons, all of them are working every day to give the Filipinos the chance and the opportunity to fight championships. So let's support and pray for the positive success, and we should never give up like our fighters don't give up. Thank you very much.
Well, that's great. That's a great message, Coach Ting. Let's also not forget JC Manangkil, who has been at the forefront of providing us with tremendous talent in the ring. And we've also got to give
Without
credit to.
him,
Yes, we
without
certainly
him, I
do.
won't be here.
Yeah. And well, we also have to give credit to the coaches. Coach Ting, Sugar, Ariosa, you've been there in the background, making sure that our fighters are fit and ready when that bell rings. Coach Ernel Fontanilla, more power to the both of you, more power to your boxers. And here's hoping that, as you mentioned, we could have 5 to 6 Filipino world champions by the end of this year. But one step at a time, it's going to be Mark Magsayo, and then we go with Marlon on April 8th, and then probably sometime in May, it'll be Jade Bornea's turn to try to win a world championship for the Philippines. Well, thanks very much again for your time, Coach
Thank
Ting.
you
I
for
know
having
you're in
me.
the airport trying to catch a flight to Cebu, and we'll see you soon, maybe in Los Angeles. We'll see you for the
Thank you so
fights.
much, Kinito, for having me again.
Thanks very much.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you very much, Coach Ting. Okay, narinig po natin si Coach Ting Ariosa giving us a rundown and the lowdown on the fights involving Marlon Tapales, who's going to be fighting for the IBF Super Bantamweight Championship. That title is held by Murijon Akhmadaliev of Uzbekistan. And then Jade Bornea, who will be fighting IBF Super Flyweight Champion Fernando Martinez of Argentina. Two big fights that we're looking forward to. And you heard it first here on Playitright TV, straight from, well, Coach Sugar's mouth. We're lucky that we had him as a guest because you can't get a better source than the man who's training Marlon and Jade for their big fights to win a world championship for the Philippines. And that's it. We hope you enjoyed our show, Playitright TV. Tapo si Kinito Henson. Again, reminding you, like, share, subscribe, Playitright TV. We're always here for you. Good night.